What is your general sense of this draft at the top right now? Now that we're through the first big splashes of the new league year, Lewis, and
Yeah.
we're a month and a half away, and rubber's now going to start meeting the road. What's your general sense of the top of this draft right now?
Yeah, man, it's interesting. What does Tennessee really do? Does Tennessee really do they see Cam Ward the same way that I personally see Cam Ward? Do they see him as a franchise setter, a tone setter, a pillar player? Or do they say, hey, you know what? We're going to trade out of here and let someone else come up and pick and see if we can continue to build out the rest of our roster and fall into that whole line of thinking of where we'll insert the quarterback at some later date as if those guys grow on trees. And if that's the case, then who would they try and move up? Who would they allow to move up into that spot to get a guy like Cam Ward? Because I do believe that he will go first overall, and I believe he's worthy of going first overall. Or do they sit there and they take a guy like Abdul Carter and they say, hey, look, we're comfortable with his, with the situation regarding the stress reaction that he has in his foot. And then what happens at number two? At one point in time, you would have thought Cleveland was going to go ahead and draft a quarterback, regardless of, all the other things that they were rumored to be maybe thinking in the free agency market. But now, with the trading for Kenny Pickett, Russ going in there for a free agent visit, does that cool them off as far as the quarterback situation is concerned? And does someone want to move into that spot to draft a quarterback number two or get someone else at number two? Or does Cleveland sit there and draft someone? Do they draft, Travis Hunter? I think there's a lot of things, man, that are still up in the air, to be honest with you, Rich, as far as how people view these players, starting with the quarterbacks, and then how do they view Travis? How do they view Abdul? And maybe most importantly, I think when you're talking about the quarterback situation and how that could shake things up, how do people view Shedeur Sanders?
How do you view him?
I view him as a franchise player. I view him as a franchise quarterback it would be great, again, to follow the blueprint of draft him, have the quarterback room set up to where he can kind of get his bearings, get settled in year one, and then take off in year two. He has what you want. Okay, he has the mental horsepower. He has plenty of arm strength. He has plenty of mobility. He has toughness galore. Listen, there are people now who throw out those arguments of, well, you know what? Look at what his record was at Colorado. He wasn't able to put that entire team on his back. He wasn't able to lift them to the kind of heights that maybe his bravado says that he did. Kid had no offensive line his first year. I did multiple games. He was getting his head beat in. They had no running game. He is deadly accurate, extremely smart. He can push the ball down the field, and he's uniquely equipped to be able to deal with all the other responsibilities that a franchise quarterback is going to have to deal with. That's a given. Super mature. He's one of those guys that has been raised the right way by his father. There's nothing you can say that's going to affect him. So, yeah, I think he's a franchise quarterback. That's the long and short of it. But you know what? If he gets past Vegas at 6, if he gets past the Jets at 7, who knows what happens after that? Who knows? So I think the top 10 picks in the draft are going to be very, very interesting because there's a lot still up in the air.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.